This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Bardown on the Digital Sportscentre presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. There's only one NHL game happening tonight, and that's the Jets trying to close out their first round series against the Blues. But they'll have to do it without Mark Scheifele. Winnipeg won Game 5 pretty handedly, but the question is, can they win one on the road? With a 2-0 series lead, the Jets went into St. Louis and lost both games by a combined score of 12-3. Connor Hellebuyck is once again having a postseason to forget, with a minus 7.1 goals saved above expected. That ranks last among all playoff goalies. And he's 1-8 in his last 9 road starts in the playoffs. On the flip side of that, Winnipeg hasn't exactly helped in front of him. The Jets have scored just 12 goals in those 8 road losses, and have failed to score more than 3 goals in those games too. The Blues, on the other hand, have made St. Louis a fortress. They haven't lost in regulation on home ice in 16 games, or since February 6th to be exact. Tonight's game is going to be a spicy one, so you know we got to talk to our boy Jesse Pollock later in the show. Alright, now I'm sure everyone in Leafs Nation was holding their breath or perhaps losing their voice like I was. But despite their playoff demons, Toronto punched their ticket to the second round of the NHL Playoffs with a Game 6 win against Ottawa. The Leafs improved to 2-13 in potential playoff series clinching games since 2018. And for just the second time in the salary cap era, the Leafs have won a playoff series. And if you remember, the first time they did this, they broke that curse, which was like 19 years. And I had an absolute meltdown on the plane because I was watching it at an overnight flight, and then I had to hide in the bathroom and freak out. And now I still get messages to this day on that post being like, what's wrong? Is the plane going down? Why are you freaking out in the washroom? It was the Leafs. It was just me. I was the only one in New Jersey. I don't know why there was no Toronto fans on there. I had the stream going, like, it was a scene. Meanwhile, in the West, the Edmonton Oilers are through to the second round after a Game 6 win over the Kings. The Oilers, after falling behind 2-0, pulled off 4 straight wins, and for the 4th straight season, they eliminated the Kings from the playoffs. At this point, for Kings fans, it's like, do you even show up when they play the Oilers? Like, it's just written in the stars, babe. You gotta find another opponent in the postseason. Both the Oilers and Leafs second-round matchups are set. The Leafs take on defending Stanley Cup champions Florida, while the Oilers take on the 2023 Stanley Cup winning champs, the Golden Knights. Okay, let's talk some Formula One. We're joined by our favorite special guest from the Miami Grand Prix. It's Tim Hauraney. How's it going, Timothy?
Hey, Marissa, thanks very much for having me.
So, Tim, Max Verstappen was given the okay to skip Media Day yesterday ahead of the Grand Prix. And last night, Max's partner Kelly gave birth to their first child, shortly after he was on a plane to Miami. Could this be the boost Max needs, as he remains the hot topic at F1 regarding his future at Red Bull?
I mean, it could be. I mean, look, Max has had a very busy 24 hours. He had missed yesterday's press conference and then took an overnighter to get here for today. He landed late last night, and so getting himself ready for this weekend. I mean, obviously, he's in the championship hunt at the moment. Right now, Red Bull doesn't have the best car compared to what McLaren has with the MCL 39. But for this weekend, Red Bull Racing is introducing an update to their car. Now, updates can provide more performance for the race car. And for Red Bull in particular, they're bringing a new floor to their car. Now, Max Verstappen will run this new floor in free practice 1, while Yuki Tsunoda, he won't get the update. But this could be an interesting step for Red Bull. The floor of a race car provides a ton of performance for these cars. And if we go back to last year, one of the big things McLaren that helped them turn their season around right here in Miami was the update that they brought to their car, which also included a brand new floor. So for this weekend, it could be pretty exciting to see what happens with both McLaren and Red Bull Racing.
Thanks, Timothy. Enjoy the weekend.
All right, thanks so much for having me, Marissa. Appreciate it.
You can catch the Miami Grand Prix right here on TSN Sunday. Coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. As promised, we are now joined by our guy Jesse Pollock ahead of a very important Game 6 for the Winnipeg Jets. How's it going, Squid?
Great to see you, Risser. And yes, I know, it looks like I have an animal on top of my head right now. I need a haircut.
Okay, Jesse, no Mark Scheifele in Game 6. What are your nerves like going into this one?
I am pretty nervous. Mark Scheifele, obviously one of the Jets' best players. But just as importantly, the St. Louis Blues are on a 14-game heater at home. Going back to their barn, they're in desperation mode. It's going to be a really, really tough win, especially without our top-line center. But I have faith in the Jets. They look great in the last game.
Okay, Jesse, what do the Jets need to do to win tonight without the whiteout in the house?
I think the Jets just need to do what they did last game. They controlled most of the play in the game. They limited the Blues to some good opportunities. They didn't have many, and we got lots of shots on Binnington. Just flood the guy. Just do what we did last game. More of that. More of that.
And of course, most importantly, I have to make this about me. Anything you want to say to Leafs fans after last night's win?
Look, Leafs fans, congratulations on your series win. The Sens are a good team, but the Panthers, they are a great team. And Risser, you said it best on X last night. If the Leafs play the way that they did in that game, and even the previous games before that against Florida, they're going to get smoked. I really respect you for making that take. Good, honest take. Completely agreed with it too. So maybe the Leafs need kind of that underdog chip on their shoulder for this series, but it's kind of weird to think that they're underdogs considering they won the division.
Yeah, I appreciate the kudos, man. I thought I was just being a real Leaf fan because I thought that we could do that, but apparently some people out there want to pretend like we live in this magical fairyland where this team does everything right. Like, I don't know. Jesse, appreciate your time. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Risser. And I just got one thing to say. Go Jets, baby.
Now joined by our gambling guy, Wes Chain. Great to see you, Wes.
Great to see you, Marissa.
All right, Wes, it's been a great series between the Rockets and Warriors. Golden State looked to close it out in 6, so is there somewhere we can make money tonight?
I like Jalen Green to go under his scoring prop, and if you can take a hint, that's my suggestion that I think the Warriors are going to close this one out at home. A big part of this, Golden State has been the #1 defense in the league since Jimmy Butler joined forces with them. And if you look at Jalen Green's game log, outside of that one big game 2, which he was good in, this is a guy that's averaged 8.5 points in the other 4 games. He's shooting 30% from the field, 25% from 3. Coach Ime Udoka is a defensive-minded guy first. I expect them to have a short leash for a guy like Jalen Green, especially in a game that should be a rock fight, elimination game, not a lot of wiggle room.
Love that. Let's switch gears to the Eastern Conference now. With those matchups already set, is there something you're seeing that you like?
Of the series that are set, I like Cleveland to beat Indiana so much that I take them -1.5 on the series spread. And then in that same one, I like Jared Allen to lead the series in total rebounds. If you look at these two teams, very similar offenses in terms of how they've been executing. I just think the Cavs are better than them at pretty much every position. And then they have the defensive upside with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. And that ties into that second bet I like. Allen's had a very good playoff run so far. He is a solid rim protector. I think they're going to need his presence against the rim penetration that Indiana likes to play with. Jared Allen to lead the series in total rebounds goes hand in hand.
Wes, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Ooh, we got a little dust here. Let me get that. Also, shout out Saskatoon.
What's up in Canada, eh?
Those are Saskatoon berries. Berries. Saskatoon has nothing to do with this next video.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
Promotime. You know it's a big deal if Promotime is back, and this one is obviously a doozy. It's the Bardown AAA Gauntlet Challenge, where the Bardown team takes on some of the best AAA teams in the region. Bardown surprisingly won the first game, but this one sparked quite the discussion during the first intermission.
James Duffy with you. Welcome to the first intermission of this travesty between Bardown and a bunch of kids.
All the way around, like they're actually lucky that they're playing against kids that are quite young.
You would think that these guys playing against guys half their age or more would show something to provide dominance for their team, but they have no athleticism and no competitiveness, and when you pair that together, you have the garbage that you're watching.
The rest of these guys on the Bardown team can't skate backwards.
You know what? I really felt that from O-Dog. Like, he wasn't acting, that was real. To watch the full episode, head to Bardown's YouTube page. Or if you're watching on Instagram, just click the link below. That's it for me today. We'll see you right back here Monday, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Have a great weekend.